Greetings, people of the internet. This is Cardiacs, and today I don't know what to say, which is usually a common thing. I'm always scrambling to figure out something to add, and here comes Cat, like clockwork. Anyway, so this video has been ready and waiting to be edited and put together for a few days now. I was going to let this wait until this Saturday so that I could just kind of hold it until kind of give myself some time to relax and kind of recuperate because I have been feeling burnt out, I suppose, lately. I just don't really find much motivation when it comes to doing illustrations. I mean, obviously I could still do them. Assuming I don't dislike every single mark I make, I just take a little while to get it done. Partially because just cats. But speaking of, if you can hear that, the cats are getting into stuff. And it's a little bit distracting. I have new furniture that my mom insisted on getting, and it's currently in my room because we don't know where else to put it. My room has the most open space for just random furniture to sit in, other than the garage, and the garage doesn't have much space for anything other than the vehicles that are in it. So, yeah, the cats are having a grand old time, just crawling around on the furniture, sniffing everything. Because cats seem to do that more than my dogs do. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know, something about this video waiting for a while because of... I was going to give myself a little bit more extra time just to kind of relax and play more video games because I do this self-sabotaging thing where I constantly scold myself, I guess, for not getting work done. Like, if I'm trying to take a break and play video games, I'm constantly in my head thinking about how I should be doing this drawing or this illustration or practicing this or something else. So I'm very work-minded, I suppose. Just kind of always thinking about what I have to do. And just when I got so many speed paints ready to be edited, I thought that I'd give myself some time to just relax and have fun and hopefully stop scolding myself so much because everybody needs a break. Everybody needs a chance to breathe and enjoy themselves, and I just wasn't doing that. And I haven't done that ever. So this year, another kind of resolution, or I guess just kind of part of the ones I already mentioned in my New Year video, is to just stop overthinking things. Everybody needs a break, and that includes me. I need to stop making myself be the exception to everything. It's like, I've always known that, for example, perfection is opinionated. Perfection by itself does not exist. It only exists in the eyes of the beholder. So what is perfect to one person is not that to another. So for the longest time, I would think that nobody's perfect, and yet I would beat myself up for not being perfect. Very hypocritical and very mentally stressful, mentally harsh, mentally... what's the word? Condemning. I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to find the word that I want to use, but I guess the ones I did find were good enough. So the point is, I just need to calm down, take a step back, and realize that all the thoughts that I have about other people can apply to me too, especially if it means I can have a chance to just relax and have fun. Even when I do give myself a chance to just play video games and hang out with my friends, I'm always thinking in the back of my head about what I have to do when I get home or when I'm done playing video games. I have to do this and this and this, and I have to get it done in a certain amount of time. Why am I playing this video game? I should be working on that instead. So in the end, I'll be playing the game or hanging out with my friends, but I won't be able to enjoy it because I'll be in my head thinking about all the things that I think I should be doing instead. Not a good habit. It's just harmful. A lot of my mental issues, I think, are because I'm so hard on myself. So, yeah, that's a lot of stuff to work on this year. So far, I think I'm doing better because I have been enjoying my time of freedom. Though I haven't been completely slacking off, I have been doing sketches in my sketchbook. Speaking of, I did finish a sketchbook recently, but I let Ginger borrow it so that she and her dad could look through it. And I would have taken it home with me when I left her house, but her father had sadly gone to bed just as I was arriving, and he likes looking through my sketchbooks too. So I decided that if Ginger wanted, she could keep my sketchbook until I came back to get it myself. And as far as I know, I think she's looked through it a few times, which is fine. I mean, if she looks through it that many times, then it's definitely more times than it will be looked through. Because I usually finish a sketchbook and then I won't open it until the rare times I decide to redraw something to kind of give myself a feeling of what I have. Loading. Trying to give myself a feeling of how much I've improved. Speaking of, I can't remember if I've mentioned it before, but a few days ago, I know I mentioned something like this, but I don't remember if I mentioned my plan. Regardless, I think the new cat I have, the little boy, went to the bathroom on the carpet behind my TV, and I know I mentioned that, but I don't remember if I mentioned that he also went on an old drawing and manuscript to a children's book I helped with, which I'm supposed to be helping with another one as well, so I have to do that soon, but I have several more months until I can do it, so I'm not too worried about it, though I did promise myself I'd get started on it this month, despite having extra time. You know, get started early, then you don't have to worry about it later. Regardless, I have to read that manuscript again. What was my point to this? Oh yeah. So the drawing that was, well, ruined, it was an old drawing of a character of mine, a humanoid rabbit. And I thought that when I saw it, it seemed very outdated, I suppose, in terms of what I draw like now. So I decided that I would attempt redoing it, but of course I threw away the original because ew. But I discovered that the drawing was scanned, and I thought I had it in my computer still, but I didn't. However, it is on DeviantArt. So the scan is also of decent quality, so I figured I'd just use that. It's a shame to have lost the original drawing, but that's okay. Sometimes you just gotta say goodbye to some things. Also, Cat is still here. Cat is headbutting my face. Lately, for some reason, the cats keep jumping up on my desk and then they won't stay still. They just want to headbutt me. And then if they do turn away from me, they like whack me in the face with their tail. It's very annoying. Very, very annoying. sadly I can't move them out of my room when I'm working because they're only allowed in my bedroom. And of course, my bedroom is the only one with a decent desk, so I can't move my laptop anywhere to work on it there because, I need a desk. My back requires it, and also, stop. Got some hair in my mouth. And also, dang it, cat, you made me lose my train of thought. Whatever. What was it? Something about my computer. I don't know. I can't move my computer. Oh, yep. It was because drawing, for example, with my pen and tablet, as on my desk, regardless, I have to put my pen tablet on top of the computer keyboard. So, part of it's covered anyway. But when I have my laptop and my pen tablet in my lap, it covers the laptop even more. So when I'm going for a shortcut, it takes more time because then I have to lift up the pen tablet even further so that I can find the shortcut. It is still kind of faster than finding it manually with the pen, but still. Anyway, so I need my desk. The desk is quite lovely. I enjoy it. Speaking of artwork, I should probably be talking about the one that is showing on the screen right now. So I guess the idea was that Becca, the archer, is helping protect her girlfriend, the werewolf, from a surprise threat, which I think is supposed to be like an animal off screen, just kind of like they're hunting, I suppose. And it's supposed to be early morning, but I need to practice how to do times of day. I think Ginger would say that I do pretty well with that, but I'm not convinced, but I never am. Because of the aforementioned always scolding myself kind of thing. Regardless, another thing that I would like to learn is also color theory. Like I know some, but I feel like I'm definitely missing a lot. So this year I'd also like to learn a bit more of that. One thing I do know that I struggle with a little bit is trying to find the right colors for certain things. For example, the wolf here is supposed to be black, but going straight for the color in the corner of the color picker is a no-no for relatively obvious reasons. Because the pure black on the left lower corner is too devoid, I suppose, of color. Like everything has an undertone, and that includes black especially. So what's on the lower left corner is a very true black, I suppose you could say. There's not much, if any, other color to make an undertone, and that gives everything a very unrealistic feel, I suppose. Definitely not lifelike, and it can give a feeling of death, rather. However, if you go for warmer tones, and as opposed to cooler ones, and if it gives more of a feeling of life, of referencing potential blood flowing through veins. So the warmth in the tones used can give more life to a drawing. And that's kind of what I was playing with when I decided to make Furin's fur less true black and more of a very saturated but very dark red. If you just look at this illustration, you'd probably just see her fur and think, oh, that's black. But in reality, It's actually a really, really dark red. So anyway, beyond that, I was also playing with lighting a bit, and because they're backlit as opposed to the typical side or front light that I usually do, I was just kind of playing around with that, and I like the effect of when hair or fur is lit very brightly in such a way that it kind of feels like it's glowing when the light is kind of behind. So with that in mind, I decided to make the silhouette quite bright, especially to kind of accentuate the hackles, I think. I don't know, the fur standing on end. So, what also helped with that, in terms of color choosing, is that the highlights tend to take on the color of whatever the light source is. Took me a while to realize that, mostly because it's only been a few years that I've actually been playing with color. Because like up until probably like 2014 or 2015, I didn't really color anything. My experimentation with color is really new. Really, really new. Most of the stuff I know now is either from observation or from tutorials that I decided to look up. So in this illustration, the light source is the rising sun in the background, which is only really hinted at from the bright kind of orange yellow in the background behind the trees. So taking that color, I went from a bit of a deep red color to a more saturated, brighter red to give the highlight. And I thought about maybe doing a yellow instead, but that's a bit too much. Kind of, I think, would imply that the light source is actually on top of them instead of behind them. So, from what I gather, I believe it's best to go with a similar color, but not the exact same color of the light source. For example, instead of a very, very bright, very saturated yellow for a light source, then one would use a more desaturated, calmer kind of version of that color. So kind of like maybe a slightly duller orange as the highlight. Hope that makes sense, because I do not know. I always have a tendency to over-explain things, and then I'm like, does that make sense? Because I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just talking about what I think I know. I could be wrong about everything. But I hope I'm right. I just hope I am. My mom likes to get mad at me when I argue with her, and like my arguing isn't really fighting or anything. More often than not, I'm just telling her what I think. And she acts like I'm trying to force my opinion on her to make her think what I think, and that's not true. I just want her to understand what I think I know, so I can actually have something to say to the conversation. Because, I mean, my mom and I are not the same person. We have our own thoughts and feelings. And if we did have the same thoughts and feelings, then what's the point of talking if neither one of us have anything different to give to the conversation? Anyway, I got off topic. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. Bye!